Hello, folks. How can I do this? Usually when anybody sees me on these shows, I've done the Impact reviews, I've done wrestling reviews, and some other stuff in between. And I just did my Impact review, just a little late last night, about near 1 o'clock, because it had been a very hectic day for me. This morning I checked to see how the upload was, to see if it worked, because the minute I uploaded, I turned off my TV that's connected to my laptop, and I just went to sleep. I was dead. And I was going to wait until the Off the Rope show does their Impact review with Schlegdaddy. And even though the British Fist does it well before that, I'll put it to you like this. I like both shows, and I respect both shows. And a lot of times, I feel at certain times, I'll load one video up on a show, then another one, or maybe go in between. And I still don't know fully about YouTube how the videos really work on it. That sometimes you can still get one video loaded onto one channel and then another one. So I try to go in between them both, because I do respect both shows. Both shows, including another show that's on YouTube. That one is from Jupiter Broadcasting with Chris Fisher and Angela Fisher. They deal in electronic stuff in Linux, and I'm going to do a video on that one day, but forgetting about that. Those three shows, the British Fist, Off the Rope Show, and Jupiter Broadcasting, is the reason I'm on right now. Jupiter Broadcasting was the first thing I saw when I was able to get cable. And I've never had cable internet before. I just could never afford it. The Off the Rope Show was the first show I saw for wrestling on YouTube, flat out. And the British Fist was the second. And I say to all three, I thank you so much for what you gave me, particularly what's happened to me in the last 2 years. And I've always said in my videos so far that I'm currently not working. I got badly injured on my job. And I had a pre-existing condition before that, a disease in my hip. And then I fell after surgery, after having found out I had a disease in my hip and then tried to correct it. It's very long and lengthy and stuff. I have a video on that maybe one day I'll load. But one of the things, and I understand with Schlegdaddy very clearly, when you have pets, they become your family. My cats, I had 3 of them at the time, and they're originally from my ex-wife, Yvette. And I'm divorced right now. It just didn't work out. And I can say that my cats have been around as long as my son. The oldest one is called Nina. My ex-wife called her Orangina. And she had 4 litters. The 2 cats I had at the time was Bashful. She was from Nina's second litter. And Susanna, who was from her last litter. Bashful was the oldest of her first cats that I had left. And Bashful is a very strange story. You see, when my son was about 4, nearing 5, he put her in a dryer for 5 minutes, roughly. Because at the time, me and my ex-wife, and I divorced her, if anyone ever wanted to know. You see, at the time, while my marriage was just falling apart, I had the really hard responsibility of working almost pretty much between a 12 to 14-hour day. And while my wife went off at the time to go and do whatever she wanted to do, which I'm not going to really say the things she did. I'm not trying to bash her that bad, saying that the marriage fell apart because of her directly. I know I did my mess. I know I made my problems and my mistakes. But usually when she went to do whatever she wanted to do, which was bad and good, she leaves him with me. And I was working such long hours to try and keep up with taking care of our family and the rest of her family at the time, that when I got my son, a lot of times I would just fall asleep dead when I got home with him because she would drop him at home. Bashful, sweet little Bashful, was thrown in the dryer as a kitten around 2002, and simply, 2001 roughly, and simply was never the same after that. I never knew how bad it was for her, but I discovered when I gotten hurt for my job how bad it was, because I noticed that she was getting seizures on and off at the time. I know a lot of people say, do you notice over at least a 10-year period how bad she was? And I wish to say this to the Schlegdaddy. I understand some of the videos you've done. I've watched you for the last year and several months. If you saw my my subscription name, and I can understand that you have problems with your baby's mama, problems what's going on in your own life, and understand, Schlegdaddy, that you can't see everything. You're going through a lot of stuff and you don't notice things. And in my case, I never noticed how bad she was. And since April 26, 2010, where my life just went down in a spiral, I just didn't notice until my sweet Bashful had a massive seizure in my apartment and started flipping around like a top. And after that, she was never the same. She started limping on one leg very badly. And by the next year of 2011, she reached a point where she couldn't walk anymore. She basically would lay on the floor for hours or days and hours at a time, where she could not function. She just didn't have like the strength. And her mother and her younger sister, which is her mother Nina, and her younger sister Susanna, watched out for her. They were very close. And it reached a point where Bashful was so sick that she would crawl under a... I'm currently using a flat screen TV. I had a very large Samsung older high definition TV that was like a big one, and I have it on a trolley, because with this damage to my leg, I just can't move things around. She used to crawl under that trolley where that TV was to hide until she felt better. Her mother and sister would watch her constantly, look under that trolley to see how she was. When she finally reached the point of becoming so sick that she laid on the floor for 2 days straight, could not walk, could not eat, and if you touched her, she would scream in pain. And I've been seeing it since she had that, from the time she had that massive seizure. It had reached a point I had to decide to let her die in my home in agony, or to take her somewhere to take away her pain. Schlegdaddy, I understand that Feisty died in your home in peace, and I'm very thankful for you. I can understand what it feels like. They are like my children, but in a little more of a respect, because I'm not Christian. I follow Native American beliefs, so it's like they're like my brother, like my sisters. But I do still think of them as my children and grandchildren. I saw Bashful and Susanna born in my apartment, in this small rinky-dink piece of crap apartment from Nina. They felt like my grandchildren. Nina is like my child, my daughter, even though I'm supposed to see them as my sisters. But they were my children and grandchildren. I honestly miss Bashful very much. My too sweet, my child and grandchild. Next to my son Ivan, Nina is my child, and Susanna is my grandchild. And they still, every few days, go back to the trolley to see and to remember her. And if people say animals don't have emotions, taking away my beliefs, they do. They know when one is not there. And Schlegdaddy, I've seen Precious in your videos, I've seen him basically rub his butt off on you out of the love he has for you. That is affection and love. But that video he did with you, this one, he knows how much you miss her. And he misses her as well a lot. He went on screen on purpose. He understands what you were doing. And I wish to say I'm happy that he loves you so much that he did that. It may look normal to other people. They've seen Precious before, more than a few times. But this was Precious's way of showing to the world, as well as to you, Schlegdaddy, how much he truly loves you. And he understands how much you miss her. I made this video in two reasons. One, not many people really know me. And maybe later as I do more videos, I'll say more what's going on. But since my life has really been really hard since my injury from my job, I've mainly been by myself, isolated. Even though things, in a sense, has gotten a little better for me, having a little change from being heavily depressed to something different now. But I'm beginning to get better. And for the Schlegdaddy, dude, put my hand on my heart, honestly saying, I'm really sorry Feisty's gone. And I give my condolences. But I tell you this, you still have two cats that love the hell out of you. And they're there for you. You not only got my respect, you got my friendship. Even if we never talk, which is okay. Just know that somebody out here who has lived a very bad life, not as probably as bad as yours or less or more, it makes no difference. He understands when you lose family. So I say this out of respect to you. Be at peace right now. Not because you understand what it is, and I understand what it is losing family like that, but that the family you had loved you enough to come to you, basically said what they need to say the last moment before they got very sick, and died with you as peacefully as possible because they loved you so much. So this is all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. This is not about asking you to subscribe and comment. It doesn't matter. If no one even sees this except for the Schlegdaddy, have a good day, man. And try to have a little peace. She loved you. And that is the most important thing. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.